Hello and welcome to 5-Year Club video number 131, Credit Apocalypse. That's right, it's the 4th anniversary of cutting up my last credit card, and it's always a good day, May 7th, for me to reflect on how things have gone since then. And we're also about 1 week shy of a year since I paid off my mortgage. So for about the last year, I haven't had debt of any kind at all. And paying off that mortgage decreased my fixed cost by about 40%. That's been very nice. And more recently, I've really taken advantage of having that low cost. So I think last month I spent less than $1,000. It was like, what? I don't think I'm going to be able to do that again this year. But it was nice. It was like a weird feeling to do that for a month. And I didn't even have to change that many things about my life to make it happen. All right, so I mentioned in a Facebook post that it's been 4 years since I abandoned credit. So I wanted to clarify exactly what that means for me. Back in 2014, early 2014, I paid off all my credit cards. But I didn't close the accounts because I wanted to keep a good credit score because I wanted to refinance my mortgage. My original mortgage was a 30-year mortgage, which in retrospect was probably a mistake. But live and learn. And so I took out that mortgage originally in 2009. In 2014, 5 years had passed. I had paid down the mortgage from 122 to 114. So 5 years out of a 30-year mortgage, and you've only got $8,000 down. I mean, it's just I hadn't paid off anything. And then it cost me $3,000 to do the refinance. So then I'm up to 117. And after the refinance was finished, I was like, okay, I'm done with all this. So I then closed out all of those credit accounts. And in 2014, I just tried to save a bunch of money because I had not had any kind of substantial emergency fund before that. In 2015, I started focusing my firepower on paying down my mortgage. I also got access to a work retirement account, so that was cool. I started maxing my retirement accounts. I forget if it was 2015 or 2016 that I remembered that freezing credit was a thing, but I put a freeze on all the credit reports as soon as I remembered that was a thing. And so my credit reports should not have any new information since my mortgage was paid off a year ago. And what this means is that certain credit scores require you to have at least some activity in the last 6 months. So I am incalculable for some credit scores, and other credit scores don't have that requirement, so I can still be scored according to them. But since I don't have any open credit accounts, they don't have a whole lot to say. When I look at Credit Karma or whatever, it says excellent, 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 not bad, excellent, and then they give me a acceptable creded score. The not bad category is the number of open accounts. That's what they ding me on, and they really ding me. I'm going to show you. All right, so you might ask, what has happened to your credit score? Let me show you. Back in 2009, when I purchased the condo, I think it was 686. And then I purchased the condo, and it improved over time. And it got up to around 815 before I was like, I really don't want to be playing this game anymore. And then I paid off on my accounts, closed the accounts, and very shortly after that, it dropped from 815 to 749, I think. And then it slowly rose up to 757 as I paid off the mortgage. And then, of course, after I paid off the mortgage, it went down to 649 or 646, depending upon which bureau is calculating it. So that's where I'm at right now, 649, 646. That's what Credit Karma says. I'm like, okay, whatever, because I'm not taking out any credit. So that's what you have to look forward to if you decide to pay off all of your debt. They will lower your credit score, trying to tempt you back into the credit system, but it really has nothing to do with your financial success. All right. I have had to maintain an emergency fund for the last 4 years like I had never had to before, because before I had access to credit cards, and so if an emergency happened, I knew that there was a place where I'd get a few $1,000s. When you swear off credit cards, you don't have access to that credit anymore, and so you need to save up your own kind of credit card, several $1,000s, and so having to save up that emergency fund and knowing that I need to maintain that emergency fund has introduced kind of more conservative financial behavior into my life, because I know that like when the money runs out, that's it. Like with a credit card, you could in theory have a $1,000 credit line for emergencies and then apply for another $3,000 if you needed, more emergency fund. And in your mind, you can kind of keep extending that out forever. But when you've decided I'm not going to use credit at all, then the only money that you'll have for an emergency is what is currently in the bank account. And it's very easy once you get in that mindset to be like, I'm not happy with that number, let's try to double it. I'm not happy with that number, let's try to double it. How can I get a little money from here and pump up that safety cushion even more? It makes you much more aware of the size and the value of a safety cushion, because the point of that it exhausts is much more measurable. Something people worry about with their credit score is, or having a credit card, is if they will still be able to rent a car. I've been able to rent a car for the last 4 years with no problems. So yes, you can still rent cars. Some people worry about if their insurance, can't say that word ever. Calvin always makes funny. Whatever. Screw you. All right. My insurance rates have been fine. I haven't had any problem with them either. So this doesn't worry me. If that changes, then I'm sure I'll make a video that rages against it. And but it hasn't changed yet. So yeah, that's the reality of my situation. And now I want to get to, I think, what is the biggest thing that I could see a credit score and credit being used for, which is used to get a mortgage. Because I mean, it just is the truth that a good amount of my net worth is from the value of the condo going up. And I used a mortgage. I used an instrument of credit in order to purchase the condo in the first place. If I'd had to buy the condo for cash in the first place, I wouldn't have been able to do it. And so it's just a fact that that there is leverage or debt behind the majority of my net worth at this point. That wasn't intentional. I didn't like plan this out to take out this huge loan and then it's going to, triple in value and everything's going to be freaking amazing. I just thought this is cheaper than renting. That was my thought process. And so swearing off credit means that I cannot take out another mortgage for another property. So even if the market crashes, I need the cash to buy that property, and I need to sell any property I have to try and get that property. In California, I think this is not such a big deal for me. And the reason why is that everything here is so expensive that it doesn't matter if I pay cash or if I use credit, it's too expensive compared with my net worth. In order to be in the net worth range that I would need to be in order to get one of these homes, I would have had to have made an incredible amount of money in my 20s, which generally speaking is not paid through salary because of taxes. The way that it happens in Silicon Valley is equity, is that someone in their 20s has a good exit from a tech company with good equity, then they have the money to buy kind of a normal house here. Didn't happen to me. So I think my takeaway after doing the analysis of how much $1 million house would cost on a per month basis, and also if I bought it with cash, how long would it take for me to get the $4 million net worth that I would need to justify a $1 million house purchase? It takes 27 years to build up $4 million if you're saving about $4,000 a month. at a 7% rate of return. And if you buy a $1 million home on credit with a $500,000 down payment, you are going to end up with a housing cost of about $3,880 for 30 years. And that is going to prevent you from achieving financial independence. So, I look at all this and I'm like, nope. Like, those houses are just too expensive. And the answer is not credit. The answer is income. So I would need to focus on income to upgrade my housing, not take out a mortgage. The good news from this whole thing is that I am approaching financial independence way faster than I could have imagined 5 years ago. And I think that, it's not like if I had one credit card and I put $100 of groceries on it every month, that would have prevented me from being in the same position. But I do believe that not having credit as an option on the table really focuses your mind on the other options, which is saving money and earning money and studying investments and building your net worth. And that focus really has aided me in the last 5 years, in the last 4 years, to make a ton of progress with money. And so, this is the end of the video. What do I have to say at the 4-year review? The same thing I said at the 3-year review, 2-year review, 1-year review. Completely getting rid of debt and credit in my life has been a great thing. I'm a big fan of it. I haven't run into any problems where I regret anything. I actually kind of want my credit score to go down just because I think it's hilarious how the credit score goes down. Space Cat. As the net worth goes up. So that's it for 5-Year Club video number 131. If you feel so inclined, take out your wallet and cut up all your credit cards. Screw them. They're not helping. They are not what the doctor ordered. All right, that's it. I am destined for bed. I can already feel it. Have a fabulous evening.